Nothing but the truth now. Nothing but the proof of what I am. The worst of what I came from. Patterns I'm ashamed of. Things that even I don't understand. I tried to fix it. I tried to fight it. My head was twisted. My heart divided. My lies all collided. I don't know why I didn't trust you to be on my side. I broke into a million pieces, and I can't go back. But now I'm seeing all the beauty in the broken glass. The scars are part of me. Darkness and harmony. My voice without the lies. This is what it sounds like. Why did I cover up the color stuck inside my head? I should have let the jagged edges meet the light instead. Show me what's underneath. I'll find your harmony. The song we couldn't write. This is what it sounds like. We're shattering the silence. We're rising, defiant, shouting in the quiet, "You're not alone." We listened to the demons. We let them get between us, but none of us is out here on our own. So we were cowards. So we were liars. So we're not heroes. We're still survivors, the dreamers, the fighters. No lying, I'm tired, but dive in the fire and I'll be right here by your side. I broke into a million pieces and we can't go back, but now we're seeing all the beauty in the broken glass. The scars are part of me, darkness and harmony. My voice without the lies, this is what it sounds like. I broke into a million pieces and I can't go back, but now I'm seeing all the beauty in the broken glass. The scars are part of me, darkness and harmony. My voice without the lies. This is what it sounds like. Now you may be wondering, was that from K-pop Demon Hunters? Was that the lyrics from the final boss song? And yes it was. Those were the lyrics from This Is What It Sounds Like, which is like the final boss song from K-pop Demon Hunters. Now, if you've seen that movie, great, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've not, I would encourage you to see it, but if you're like, I'm not going to, it's okay, but you will get some spoilers. The reason that I chose that is very important, and it actually builds off last week's video. So last week, we talked about the shooting in Minneapolis and what is broken in our society that has led us to a place where death and mass shootings seems to be such a pandemic here in America. And since the shooting, it has come out that the shooter was a transgender woman. Now, in response to that, we have even seen Republican commentators call for a breaking of HIPAA regulations and a rounding up of all transgender, gender non-conforming, and people who would help so they could be studied to find out why they're doing all these mass shootings. Now, I've looked up the statistics, and since 2017 of all mass shootings across the United States, 0.01% of those have been done by transgender individuals, which means 99.9% of all mass shootings are not done by transgender individuals. But I have never heard in any realm of existence a call to round up the demographic that is causing the most mass shootings in the United States, which is straight, cisgender, which just means that they identify as what they're born as. So men who are born as men, white men, generally speaking. But we've never seen a call for a rounding up of those individuals, because that's ridiculous. We're not going to do that. But I would like to know exactly what is broken in our country that mass shootings are so prevalent, and that we are constantly thinking that we need to go single out one community, like the transgender community, who has been used as a scapegoat over and over again. They've been used as a scapegoat by Democratic leadership, Republican leadership, anyone who thinks that by throwing them under the bus they will further their own agenda. They're used as a scapegoat. And if there's one thing I learned, so again, here's my K-pop Demon Hunters reference. In the movie, you have three singers. they fight demons with their voice. And what gives them the most power is when their fans' voices combine, it helps power against demons. So the stronger and more able they are to get their fans to sing and to come together, the stronger they are together. Well, here comes a demon boy band and they start going head to head. Well, all of a sudden their songs become less about love and light and more about takedown. We got to take them down. We got to take them down and take them out. They're dirty and horrible and all demons need to be killed. They lumped it all into one category and started going down this path of hatred. And as the movie goes on, we see our lead singer hiding a piece of who she is out of fear. We see them breaking apart. They're losing. Everything's falling apart because they're letting the lies get in between them. They're letting the demons win. And it is not until they break down what they were told and rebuild together that they are able to battle forward. It isn't until each one of them embraces their inner selves and brings it to the table that their voices combined, they manage to get their fans rallied again in love, not hatred, and manage to, even better than the golden Han moon, which if you haven't watched the movie, the Han moon, this is based on a Korean mythology and lore and religion. So the Han moon is a barrier between the humans and the demon world, and a golden one is like supposed to be this most amazing one. But at the end of this movie, they end up coming with something completely different. They'd never even talked about a rainbow Han moon that had that diversity in it. It was always golden, this hegemonic golden thing. But it was the rainbow that saved them all. I don't know what it is like to live a transgender experience. While I am the parent of gender non-conforming children, I do not know what a transgender experience is like. I don't go out into the world and live it. I know what a masked experience feels like. I was an undiagnosed ADHD autistic until I was nearly 40. And I learned a very long time ago I was either too much, not enough, too loud, too straightforward, not straightforward enough. There was always something I was doing wrong. So I spent a lot of time masking and trying to roll from community to community and just be whatever that community wanted, because I was like, well, maybe if I'm just what everyone wants, then eventually I will find my belonging. But what I realized is until I know who I was, nobody could accept me in belonging. And so I had to drop the mask. I had to start letting the parts of myself out that scared me, that straightforwardness, the kind of silliness that would often get me dismissed as not intellectual. Sometimes I'm forgetful, or I don't remember where I put things, which also translates somehow into not being intellectual in all areas. And so as I took the mask off and I looked at the scars underneath that had been accumulating over the years from the words of other people and the abuse from other people, and even the harm that abuse led me to do to myself. Once I looked at myself and I saw the scars and I went, you know what? This is all beautiful. That's when I found my community, my belonging, my healing. That's when I found my life. I found myself. And once I loved myself and I found myself, I was able to take that love forward and give it to other people. And furthermore, people don't have power over me anymore. When they speak about me ill, I just keep living my truth, because I know that if I live my truth and my actions speak louder than the words of others, then I don't have to worry about the words of others. That's not to say the words of others don't hurt. And that's also not to say that right now our transgender siblings in this country are being forced through violence, harmful rhetoric, bullying, and more violence. I'm just going to say violence over and over because there's been so much of it. Verbal violence, physical violence, hatred, division, and it all comes from a place of misunderstanding because we're fed snippets of misinformation from people who want you to believe a certain way. And like the lyrics from that song say, we let the demons get between us, but none of us is out here on our own. When we start talking to each other, when we love each other, when we listen to each other, when we find our heart through the rhetoric of other people's words. That is when we come together. We find our healing, we find our unity, we find our peace, and we protect the marginalized communities in this world. So I want to close with a poem from a book called The Scars Are Constellations. Scars Like Constellations. Because our scars aren't ugly. No matter what we've been through, no matter how we got to where we are in life, what we went through to get here can be beautiful. I'm also not saying trauma isn't traumatic. I'm not trying to dismiss any of that, so please, not that at all. But what I am saying is someone who's been through trauma and darkness and almost didn't make it out the other side, there is beauty and there is healing and there is joy when you find your people, your belonging, your community, and your authenticity. So, I would like to end with this poem called Scars Like Constellations. There was a time I believed I would not survive this body, this skin that betrayed me, this heart that cracked like porcelain. But look at me now, stitched together with fire, wearing my bruises like war paint, scars like constellations, mapping the journey back to myself. I'm no longer afraid of my own reflection. And neither should you. Don't let the words of others tell you who you are. Only you know. Go in love, go in peace, and go knowing that despite the fact that the rhetoric from our government everywhere, especially for our siblings in Christ in the transgender community, our siblings in faith in the transgender community, you are loved, you are beautiful beings of light and love and deserve respect and to be valued in this world instead of othered and marginalized. God, Spirit, help us to uplift those who have been marginalized, to see those clearly through the scars, through the masks, and hold compassion and empathy in our heart above all, so that we love each other through it and find a way for a beautiful diversity. In love, in light, in joy. Amen.